Good morning. My name is Devin Alley, and I'm a member of the board here at Tennessee Valley Unitarian Universalist Church. On behalf of the board and the program council, it is my honor to welcome you here this morning. As we enter this space today, know that you are surrounded by the love of this community where all are welcome. Whoever you are, wherever you are from, and wherever you are on your journey, you are welcome here. If this is your first time here, or your 101st time, if you are here in the building, or if you are watching online, you are welcome here. If we can all take a minute to wave at our camera here in the back and let everyone know online that you are part of our community as well. If you would like more information on our church, please fill out the visitor card in the pocket in front of you, or you can visit our website at tvuuc.org, and you can select Stay in Touch to get more information that way. If you are interested in religious exploration classes for your children or adult RE for yourself here at TVUC, please visit the RE hallway after the service. You will go out through the double doors, past the kitchen, and you can speak to an RE leader in the hallway there. You can also find more information on our website. There's also an RE welcome table that's set up in the gallery, and you can get more information there as well. If you need any accessibility aids during the service, such as a large print hymnal, hearing device, or noise-canceling headphones, those can be found on a cart near the welcome table in the lobby. Our ushers will be glad to show you the way, or they can also collect one for you if it is needed. Our ushers are also able to provide guidance around the building if you are a newer visitor, and if you need any help locating the restrooms, the exits, or any other areas of our building. Ushers are your people. If you are visiting us with small children, we invite you to sit up front, where it is easier for your little ones to see what is going on. Please don't feel that you must keep them still. All are welcome here, and we understand that silence is never completely silent. You should also feel free to change seats at any time during the service if you need to move closer, or even just stretch your legs. If you or your children need to step out of the sanctuary for a moment, we do have the E.E. Cummings room. It's a glass enclosed room at the back of the sanctuary. You can still see and hear the service. It is right there if you go out to my left on the corner. We do have a few announcements this morning. At 12:30 p.m. in room A, we are having a TVUC visioning circle. And you can look at Mary in the back with our lovely whiteboard of information to let you know. Over the next couple of months, the Strategic Planning Committee is going to conduct these visioning circles. These are opportunities for congregants to have their voices heard on your desires, hopes, and wishes for the future of our beloved church. So we will have more of these, but the first one is this afternoon after service in room A. And childcare is available, so we welcome you to join us this afternoon. The 2008 Non-Smoker Protection Act improved public health, but key gaps still leave Knoxville musicians and hospitality workers exposed. Jeremy Corvellis of the TVUC House Band is organizing an advocacy effort to speak to the City Council about protecting working musicians. If you'd like to help or learn more, please check with Jeremy after the service. Jeremy, are you here? Yeah. So wave. Jeremy's back there. So if you would like more information about that, you can see him after the service. The March 23rd Justice Knox rally is tomorrow. Yay! That's right. Get excited. All Justice Knox members and anyone curious about our justice work are invited to join us at First Baptist Church from 7 to 8:30 p.m. for updates, to build momentum for the Maya Action Assembly, and to help demonstrate the people power of our 28 congregations. The next No Kings demonstration at the intersection of Henley, Summit, and Western is Saturday, March 28th at noon. TVUUC will host sign making at 11 a.m. at the church and will start its shuttle service to the site at 11:45 a.m. All are welcome. Let's help make this impactful. These announcements and others can be found in the back of your order of service and in our weekly email newsletter. Today is a designated offering Sunday, and I will tell you a little bit more about what that is today. Today's designated offering supports the Lounsdale Environmental Camp at Tremont, which helps provide hands-on environmental education and meaningful outdoor experiences for local youth. Ways to give are listed in the order of service, including a QR code that will take you directly to the giving page. If you're watching online, you can click the blue Give button on your screen. After the service, please join us for coffee and conversation in the fellowship hall. If you are visiting, if you would like a tour of the building, if you have any questions about our church, you can look for me there. I'll be glad to chat and to show you around. If you have any questions about the path to membership, I'll be happy to introduce you to our prospective member coordinator, Mark Mahundro. And now, if you have not already done so, please silence any electronic devices as we enter worship together.
Today we are welcoming Andrew Egbuchen, and he is a countertenor who works in New York and is currently touring the Midwest. And last night he gave a beautiful concert here, and that is online. If you'd like to go to our YouTube and watch it, you're welcome to do that. And he will be singing our prelude and offertory today.
Come opening words are from Theodore Parker. Be ours a religion which like sunshine goes everywhere, its temple all space, its shrine the good heart, its creed all truth, its ritual works of love, its profession of faith, divine living. Come, let us worship together.
To be gathered in all the ways that we gather on Sunday mornings here in this space and watching from elsewhere. And I have a story to share this morning as we enter into our spiritual theme for the day, and it's adapted from one written by Mo Willems. It begins with a kid named Trixie. Trixie was going to go on a really big trip. Has anybody here ever gone on a really big trip somewhere? Trixie was going to go visit her grandparents, her Oma and Opa, in Holland. And so they packed up all their things, she and her mom and her dad, and they got on a train and took a train for a while, and then they went to the airport, because a train's not going to take you all the way to Holland from the United States. Depends on where you're starting. And has anybody here ever been to an airport? Yeah, they took all their bags, and they checked some bags, and they took some with them, and they went through security, and Trixie had to put her Knuffle Bunny, her very special stuffed animal, in one of the baskets and watch Knuffle Bunny go through. Does anybody here have a stuffed animal that you really love? Does anybody? Oh, I see a couple here this morning. Yeah, I see one. Yeah. Well, she was really glad that she was able to grab Knuffle Bunny again when they got past security. And they finally got on their airplane and flew, and while they were flying, Trixie read some, and she played some games, and she napped some, and before too long, they arrived. And then they got off the airplane, and they got on another train, and they went to where their Oma and Opa lived, and before she knew it, Trixie was sitting in her grandparents' backyard sipping on some chocolate milk. Everything seemed really good, except then she realized something. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. She ran in, and her dad didn't even have to ask her what had happened. He knew. Knuffle Bunny was gone. He called the airline and asked them if they would check the airplane, because they thought that must be where Knuffle Bunny was, but the plane had already left. It was going next to China. China is a very long way from Holland. Trixie felt awful. But she tried really hard to enjoy her visit. She tried to enjoy going to the playground and swinging on the swings, and she tried to enjoy going to a cafe with her grandpa, and she tried to even going to a carnival that was in town. She tried to enjoy seeing real windmills, but it was really hard. She didn't think she would enjoy anything. She missed her Knuffle Bunny. The next day, she was sitting in the yard again with her Oma, and she gave her an extra big glass of chocolate milk and said, "You know, you're getting really big." Trixie understood. She was getting bigger, even if she didn't want to be, but she still missed her Knuffle Bunny. That night, Trixie, when she went to bed, she didn't think she could sleep even one more night without Knuffle Bunny. But she eventually fell asleep, and when she did, she had a dream. Does anybody here ever have dreams that you remember? I have lots of dreams, but they kind of slip away, and I can't remember many details, but this one was crystal clear. Trixie dreamed about, can you guess? Trixie dreamed about her Knuffle Bunny. And Knuffle Bunny, she dreamed about Knuffle Bunny's travels all over the place. And she dreamed about all the kids her Knuffle Bunny would get to meet. And she dreamed that Knuffle Bunny helped all those kids feel better. And in the morning when she woke up, Trixie felt a little better. She enjoyed swinging on the swings at the playground. And she enjoyed going to the cafe with her Opa. She even took a little sip of his coffee. She didn't like that very much, but she still had a good time. And before she knew it, the visit was over, and it was almost time to go. So she hugged her Oma and Opa as hard as she could and said goodbye, and what did they do to get back home? They got on a train first and took the train to the airport, and they went through security again. She didn't have her Knuffle Bunny to put through security this time. She remembered when she had and was a little bit sad again. But they got on the airplane finally, and were on their way back home with a whole airplane full of other people, including a baby right behind her that was getting a little upset. What do babies sound like when they're kind of upset? The baby was getting even more upset. What do babies sound like when they're really upset? Yeah. And Trixie felt really sad for that baby, and she thought, yeah, I've been sad too. And then she noticed something. Would you believe it? In the pocket of the very seat she was sitting in, she saw something peeking up, and she reached out, she pulled it out. What was in that pocket? Her Knuffle Bunny. She must have somehow was sitting in the exact same spot on the exact same airplane, and Trixie was so happy to have her Knuffle Bunny back. She felt so happy that she made a decision. And she turned around in her seat and she asked the mama of that crying baby, "Would your baby like my Knuffle Bunny?" "Really?" said the mom. "Really?" said Trixie's dad. "Really?" said Trixie's mom. "Really?" said Trixie. The baby was happy. The baby's mama was relieved. All Trixie's parents were proud, and all the people on the airplane were feeling pretty grateful. And that was how, 2 weeks later or so, Trixie got her very first international letter in the mail with a picture of Nuffle Bunny and the baby. And that is our story for this morning. So thank you all. And our learners and leaders who are heading to our religious exploration spaces are going to head out as we sing our recessional.
Good morning. I'm Nebby Jackson. I'm a member of the spiritual care team here at TVUUC. We are a group of heart-centered, deep listeners who take care of the caring needs of the community. We have a spiritual care line, and you can find the number in your order of service or on the website. And there you can leave messages for something to say at Joys and Concerns, or if somebody needs a meal, because we do meals and rides as well. And we also have a listening booth on the second Sunday of each month. And you can also visit the caring card table in the fellowship hall after the service to sign the cards for the things that I'm about to share and others. So many of you know Emmy Taylor by her artful way of arranging flowers and her hard work keeping the memorial garden so beautiful. She is sad to share that her partner Michael Burke had a second stroke a couple of weeks ago, and after a time at UT Hospital, he is now at Knox Rehab Hospital until the end of the month. His prognosis is good, but it's slow and tiring, but she feels very supported by the members of her loving family, and they will gather this week to make plans for when he returns home. Please hold these people in your hearts. And Anders Porter, the son of Ilsa Anderson and Nick Potter, not Porter, Elsa Anderson and Nick Potter, who used to do the family promise laundry each month through the middle and high school years. He had a bad fall while he was renovating his house and broke his leg. He had to have surgery at UT, and that went well. He is now at home recovering with his wife Alyssa and their 2 beautiful children. We wish Anders well on his road to recovery. And Cynthia Crosby Myers, whose trumpet playing we're all entertained by, is delighted to share that on Wednesday, March 25th, she and her faithful companion dog Sam will celebrate her 88th birthday. 3 cheers for 88. We are grateful for you, Cynthia, and sharing your good cheer and your talent. And Maris Porter is pleased to announce that their partner Robin are now living in the Sevierville area. They are so happy, as they say, living the hobbit life closer to the mountains. They plan to come to church occasionally as Maris comes into town often to see her mother and her son, and many friends, including those here at church. We wish Maris and Robin a joyous time in their new life. And finally, David Baird and Laura Brouchard recently celebrated their marriage with a small ceremony with friends and immediate family. They're excited to begin their new lives together, and Aiden and Lucas are happy to have David as their stepdad. So congratulations to David and Laura, sorry. These concerns and joys are lovely to share each Sunday, but we know that there are times where people keep their experiences closer to themselves. So we often like to say that we keep all of these joys and concerns in our hearts, both shared and unshared. So please join in singing our lovely song as we keep these people in our hearts. Thank you.
Since we're in the midst of the holy season of Ramadan, I offer these readings from the Sufi Muslim tradition. I'll read the titles. They're very short poems. The first poem is Looking for God in the Heart by Rumi. The second poem is A Heart Closed to Humanity by Hazrat Inayat Khan. And Remove the Kaaba by Shams-e Tabrizi. The prophet tells us what God has said. I cannot fit above or below my earth, my heaven, my throne contain me not. Know this for sure, my dear, what wonder. The heart of my faithful servant suffices me. If you seek me, look for me inside these hearts. The heart closed to humanity means the heart closed to God. God commands us to pray in the direction of Kaaba. Imagine this, people all over the world are gathered, making a circle around the Kaaba. They bow down in prayer. Now imagine, remove the Kaaba from the middle of the circle. Are they not prostrating toward each other? They are bowing down toward each other's hearts. I now invite you to give generously to the Lonsdale Environmental Camp. It's a wonderful school. It's a very multiracial, multicultural school where many different languages are spoken. And it's a lower income school, so this is an opportunity for kids who might not otherwise get out into the Great Smoky Mountains, to get out into nature. Our next reading is very brief, which will lead into our responsive reading, which is 602 in the back of your hymnal. The Dalai Lama once said, "The essence of any religion is a good heart. Sometimes I call love and compassion the universal religion, and this is my religion." I invite you to join with me in responsive reading 602. I'll say the first words and you say the words in italics. If there is to be peace in the world, if there is to be peace in the nations, if there is to be peace in the cities, if there is to be peace between neighbors, if there is to be peace in the home, let's take a moment to rest in silence, to enter into our hearts, which is the temple for love, compassion, and the universal religion. Amen. You may remain seated for our next hymn, which is 1009 in the teal hymnal, Meditation on Breathing. The psychologist Sigmund Freud once wrote to a friend about how he prepared for a very specific lecture. He wrote to his friend, "So I gave my lecture yesterday. Despite lack of preparation, I spoke quite well and without hesitation, which I ascribed to the cocaine I had taken beforehand. I told about my discoveries in brain anatomy, all very difficult things that the audience certainly did not understand, but all that matters is they get the impression that I understand it. When I read that letter, I thought, maybe I'm going about sermon preparation the wrong way. But then I remembered we're in the middle of the season of Lent, which is a time to give up bad habits, not start new ones. During this time of year, I'm reminded of a joke that Joe Touchton once told me when he was fixing coffee in the kitchen. He said there was once a 90-year-old man who went to the doctor and they ran all the required tests. And afterwards the doctor said, well, I want you to know that you could live 20 more years if I could only think of 10 things for you to give up. During the season of Lent, it is common for people to let go of some habit. Cigarettes, soda, social media, fatty foods, sugar, television, caffeine, alcohol, cocaine, or some other addictive substance. It's a time of year when we recognize it's good to practice restraint. This year, Lent falls in the middle of the time of Ramadan, and Muslims fast from sunrise to sunup. So it's a time of practicing personal restraints. So because this is a Unitarian Universalist church, I'm going to invite all of us to reflect on the Christian season of Lent and the Muslim season of Ramadan through the lens of Jainism, which is an Eastern religion which began in India in the 9th century BCE. Now, Jainism is an understudied religion, at least here in the West, but it has been very influential with leaders of many different faiths. Mahatma Gandhi was a Hindu, but many of his ideas of nonviolence come from the Jain tradition, which he studied. And Gandhi affected Dr. Martin Luther King, and Dr. Martin Luther King affected many others, so Jainism has had a global impact. The Jain tradition tells us that human life flourishes when we embrace our limitations. In the West, we often think of freedom as the absence of limits, the absence of restrictions, the absence of restraints and constraints. But the Jains argue that we find our freedom by accepting our limits. In other words, if we want to live a good life, maybe we should think of 10 habits we need to give up. Jainism is also interesting in the metaphysical sense. In the West, we tend to look at religion in a binary way. You either believe in God or you don't. You're a theist or you're an atheist. You're a believer or an unbeliever. But Jainism has been described as a trans-atheistic religion, trying to transcend that binary. Jainism is a little bit less about what we believe. It's not that what we believe isn't important, but it's less about what we believe and more about how we live and the choices we make in our daily lives. Now, to better explain Jainism, let me tell you a story about visiting a Baptist church in our community for an interfaith meeting. And I walked into the men's room, and there was a sign that said, "No smoking, God is watching you." Now, in the Jain tradition, the emphasis isn't on an external God who is watching you or judging you or assessing you. So in the Jain tradition, a sign, if you went into a Jain temple, maybe the sign on the restroom wall would look more like the Surgeon General's warning. Smoking causes lung cancer, heart disease, and emphysema, and may complicate pregnancy. Quitting smoking now greatly reduces serious risks to your health. Now, my father was an Episcopal priest, and he had a different metaphor but it aligns with the purposes of this sermon. We were living in Gainesville, Georgia at the time, and he said there are two roads by which you can take to Atlanta. One is on the highway, and it's a straight road, and if you drive over the speed limit, you might get pulled over by a cop, and the cop might take you to give you a ticket, and you might have to go to traffic court. He said the other road is curvy, and if you drive over the speed limit, you may just jump the curve and your car roll down the hill and die. So the Jain tradition isn't focused on traffic court. And it isn't focused on getting a ticket. It's about making wise choices that are good for our overall health and well-being. So the Jain tradition rejects the idea of a judgmental God in order to affirm what physics teaches, that energy cannot be created or destroyed. So the goal is not to be obedient to an external authority figure, but to discover the authority within us, to tap into that deep energy within everyone, and to be aligned with this deepest part of our inward life. At the heart of the Jain tradition is that we should make wise choices which release energy instead of those choices which obstruct energy. The image or metaphor I get is of the human heart and the circulatory system. We would be wise to choose those actions which facilitate the work of the circulatory system that ensures the blood will flow to every part of our body, and we would be unwise to choose those actions which obstruct the flow of blood or otherwise harm the work of the circulatory system. So, from a Jain perspective, the reason to give up smoking or fatty foods for Lent is not to please an external God. Instead, we give up those habits because they are good for our heart. The Jain tradition shares with Hinduism this idea of good karma and bad karma, but it's different in this sense that good karma is not about getting a reward, and bad karma is not about avoiding punishment. The language that is used in the Jain tradition for bad karma is a lot like the language we use for bad cholesterol. Now, bad cholesterol, a low-density lipoprotein, can lead to plaque buildup on the walls of our arteries in a way that restricts the flow of blood and can lead to cardiovascular diseases like heart attack or stroke. Similarly, bad karma are those actions which are energy obstructing and thus undermine our spiritual well-being. Speaking of congested arteries, I was driving through Atlanta a couple of weeks ago. And what I can tell you is when the flow of traffic is obstructed, it is extremely frustrating. It is just sitting still in the middle of that city. But when the flow of traffic is good, it is exhilarating. It is an exhilarating experience. And that's what the Jain tradition wants all of us to have, an exhilarating experience. An exhilarating experience aligned with the flow. Now, in the West, we tend to think in terms of individual freedom and independence. However, in the Jain tradition, we find our freedom with each other, not from each other. We find our freedom in relationship, not by avoiding relationship. We find it in interdependence and not simply independence. We find our freedom when we move together in concert with each other. Now, I recently told a friend that I'm getting to that stage in life when my annual doctor's appointment feels a little bit like Judgment Day. All my dietary choices, all my exercise choices are brought to the throne of judgment. And that is a twisted way to look at life. Because our overall health and well-being is not about obedience to an authority figure, whether it be our physician or even God Almighty. Our overall health and well-being is about being properly aligned with our inward lives. The goal of every outward physician is to introduce us to the inward physician, the forces that work for health and well-being within us. This is what the Quakers call that of God in every person. There is an inward teacher, an inward physician within each one of us. Now, I want to tell you a story about my mom, and I promise it's related to the topic of the morning. Once, I was pretty much fresh out of college, and I asked my mom, "Do you want to go to the Stevie Nicks concert?" And she said, "Yes." And so I bought 2 tickets, and weeks later we were crossing the street to the auditorium, and my mom turned to me and said, "Who's Stevie Nicks?" And I was surprised she didn't know, because she used to wake us up in the morning singing her version of a Fleetwood Mac song. Don't stop thinking about your mama. Don't stop, she'll soon be here. I tell that story because I'm a big fan of Stevie Nicks. And lately I've been reading a biography of her, Gold Dust Woman, by Stephen Davis. And in that book I learned that Stevie Nicks used to prepare for concerts in a way that's very similar to the way Sigmund Freud prepared for his lectures. Indeed, her cocaine habit was so bad her life was in danger, and her doctor encouraged her and instructed her to go into rehab, and her family and friends organized an intervention so that she would go to rehab. But as she told her reporter, she said, "I don't like other people telling me what to do." And then she realized that cocaine was telling her what to do. Telling her what to do every day. And she went into rehab, and she came out again, and her physical health was renewed, and her musical career was renewed, and that's why, because she made that decision, I was able to take my mom to see her in concert. Now many people don't know, the root word of addiction, or it shares a root word with dictator, because our addictions tell us what to do. They take control. They take control of us, and they tell us what to do. And addiction is horrible. Last week I was visiting my stepmother, and I was going through a bunch of old photographs. And here's a picture of my brother Bill and my cousin when they were young. And my brother Bill died when he was a teenager. He had a struggle with addiction, and he died in a car accident, DUI. And my cousin Ginger was killed in a car accident when she was hit by a drunk driver. And so our addictions harm not only ourselves, but harm others. And all around us, we see the dynamics of addiction. Indeed, our nation's most recent wars in Venezuela and Iran are a function of our country's addiction to fossil fuels and our unwillingness to let go of a bad habit and embrace a good habit. And think of how many people are dying because we can't let go of a bad habit. In order to embrace more healthy habits, more clean and renewable forms of energy. This morning I read in the paper, headline in The Guardian, that the war in Iran has led to renewed interest in renewable energies. People are looking at electric cars and shopping for devices that are based on renewable energy. Irony of ironies. What can I say? Sometimes we have to hit rock bottom before we're willing to change. And so as I bring this sermon to a close, I want to assure you that I have given this sermon while completely clean and sober. And I hope this sermon helps us all to think about Lent and think about Ramadan in harmony with the Jain tradition, to let go of bad habits and embrace new ones, to lay down our burden, to lay down our heavy load, to let go of our addictions, to stop the war within us and all around us, to challenge every dictatorship here, in here, or out there, to work for that day that the prophet Isaiah envisioned sometime in the future when we will be wise enough to lay down our swords and shields and study war no more. Amen. I invite you to rise in body or spirit for our closing hymn, Down by the Riverside.
A one, a two, a one, two.
Prophetic Church, the world awaits your liberating ministry. Go forward in the power of love. Proclaim the truth that makes us free. Oh,